Alright everyone, welcome back. It is, what is Wednesday, 21st? Yeah, I think it's 21st. Look at your calendar. We have sanded this down to a finer grit anyway. We last hit it with a 400, and then we dressed these radiuses here with some fill stick, and now we're going to take a putty knife to it. It's been sitting here, I don't know, a few hours, something like that. It won't completely harden, but it should cure enough to where you could take a knife and keep it flush all the way across. And excuse me while I wipe my blade. And then we can go in here and clear some of that up. We can also hit that with some sandpaper. Excuse me if I get a little out of frame, a little out of mind. We're going to go over it one more time to hopefully keep it flush all the way across. Okay. Yeah. So that'll be good for right now. We'll take a pencil to it and give it a wipe down the groove. There we go. This here will come off pretty good. Alright, now we'll do the other side. Let's see if we can do a little better on this one. There's that. Yeah. Okay. We just wanted to get enough. The gods must be awake or upset. It wasn't me. It was the one-armed man. Okay, there. That is gonna do it for right now. We'll let the air hit. We'll let the We'll let the air hit this surface for a while. We might even wait till tomorrow morning to come out and schmooze it with some fine grit. And get it shaped up pretty good, and then I don't think we'll need to color it much. We are still going to dibble this up with some fine grit, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go over it with some probably special walnut to get the flush color into it, to kind of blend in with the dark grain. The sides are going to be what they are. They will lighten up, because when I hit it with the DA, it's going to take some of that color out. No DA for this. This is all going to get, all of this in the front and the top is going to get hand sanding. No DA for that. But the ends, we are going to hit those and see if we can schmooze it out a lot more. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Oh yeah, we did get the grill front done up. It just needs a little light sanding on it, but that's going to happen tomorrow, because what I did was I hit it with some, I think it was Kona, a combination of poly and stain. It's supposed to be a one touch thing, a one shot deal, you know. But I'm going to let it cure up overnight, and then we're gonna light sand it tomorrow a little bit to schmooze all the roughness out of it, and then we're going to hit it with some clear gloss, and then this here is going to get a little restaining on the large areas, and then it's going to get cured and dried and shot. So we'll see you tomorrow. All right, everybody, welcome back. It is Friday. What is today? The 23rd of August 2024. I got a couple of issues with this radio, and one buck skeeter that's periodically flying in my face. I'm surprised he hasn't flown up my nose yet. He's getting close though. I hope it don't suck him up. So anyway, the couple of issues I'm having with this thing is the reception on the push buttons. I'm getting there a little at a time. I'm not sure exactly what is causing the issue that I have with it. Before I could only get 2 of these to come in. And you can see just how far these are out. I've never seen any that were out quite so far, but there's always a first for everything. So I got those dialed in, but I never could get the other 3. Now, the issue that I'm having now is with it. Now I've got the other 3 to come in. What I've done that is different than I did originally was, when I put this support on here, I put it on with no full contact, in other words, to the framework all the way down, because I figured that it needed to be grounded, and technically it should be grounded, but it's not showing that here in the diagram. Nowhere here shows where there is a chassis ground. This here is a B minus, B minus, B minus. That is a ground, chassis ground. And up here, there is a couple of chassis grounds here and there, right there, B minus, another chassis ground. All these pin 1s on all these octal tubes, these SG7, A7, K7, and Q7, pin 1s are all grounded. Typically, that's the way I find those things. 35L6. Well, I believe they're using these unused pins for B minus tie points, and I believe that's what I found. Okay, these IF cans, they are chassis grounded. The can. Now, I'm not sure what these chinkawonkies are here. This one doesn't have it. This one does. I'm not really sure what those are. They're not. They're not. You know. They're not inductors like Yurka Vrika Vrika Fracus. Where is that? That other thingy that has the core in it. I forget where in the hell. I think it's no, it's not L7. It's somewhere here. Okay, so now back to the issue. I'm getting this here now with the antennas and everything hooked to it, and everything's hooked up according. This here is just a gator. This gator wired here to a ground, chassis ground, up here to the framework of this, and I get responses out of all the cores. Good responses out of these two, not so good out of these three. And it doesn't pick up all through the band. In other words, this one here only goes from, you know, between certain frequencies, 550 to, let's say, a 650. This one here goes from about 600 to about 900. This one here is, you know, the way they all typically are. But it doesn't. I can get 1600 on all of these, but I can't get much of anything else. So when I touch here, touch there, touch there, touch there, I get a louder response out of it. In other words, I get more volume out of it, which leads me to believe there might be an issue with the antenna system. Either I got it plugged in, hooked up wrong, but the antenna diagramming was the easiest one to do because it was on the outside and I could see where the wires went. So if I put my hand in a certain spot on the loop, I get a louder volume out of it, but not as loud as if I touch these. So anyway, now on the shortwave, I get it down here in this half of the dial, but nothing up here in the upper half. Yeah, so I've got that to contend with. I've been out here at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I've been out here at 8 o'clock at night tuning the band, and it's mostly dead up here. A lot of jibber jabber and traffic down here, and close too. So I even went so far as I bought a set of tubes. I believe I told you that before, and I swapped out the G7. No, I swapped out the G7 with one of the tubes that I got in. The first one I got in. I ordered 3. I got 2 more over there that are in the rack. The A7, I went from a GT tube to a metal tube, and the GT tube kind of did okay, wasn't great. Put in the metal tube, it wasn't much difference, but I did get more response out of it throughout the dial. The K7. The K7 is the IF amp, and it's a good strong tube, and I get good response out of it. I did an alignment on it and got it dialed in. Each individual trimmer made a definite change. It had a peak on it. Now let's see, The Q7, I had originally a GT tube in there, and I thought maybe with the second detector, the AAF and the ASC, maybe there was an issue with that. I had checked it before, and it did come out to, well, the tube was good. I mean, I tested it and it was good. But I decided to go to a metal tube, excuse my belching, but I ate a bunch of gummies. Doc says you got to take in more fiber, because I had a little fibromyalgia in my tract. So I ordered some gummies, and like two jumbo containers with about 240 gummies in it and each one is supposed to have 7 grams of fiber. So I take 9 a day. So he says 25 grams of fiber, or 20 grams of fiber. So I take 9 a day. Each one has 7 grams. So I get a buildup of pressure. Let's put it that way. I get a little pressure. So, and that's at both ends. So now, 3506, nothing was done to that. I just checked the voltages on the pins that were needed, and it's right in the 10% range. 70 volts, 75 volts, 82 volts, 89 volts. So 75, 85 and 89, 75 and 75, 82 and 87, 59 and 50. And over here we had 4.9, where we're supposed to have close to 4. And over here we have 105 tops, and 70 was measured, 75, 85. Down here we have 110, I got 115. 85 over here on this E-cap, and 115 on this E-cap. So, I mean, the voltages are all there. I noticed that this here is the only radio that I have done anything on, like I did to it, that was a series string set, hot chassis. Well, it's kind of a hot chassis, a series string set, and at full voltage, or in other words full power, no dim bulb, direct to the power supply, it takes probably about a minute for it to come up and start giving you some sound. So I don't know if that's a thing with this particular style of radio, or whatever. I know with the 6-volt tube units, they come up quite a bit faster, probably in like 30 seconds, maybe 20, or somewhere around in there. This one must be a full minute to do it. So now, what I'm getting now, maybe some of you can point me in the right direction, possibly, hopefully. These tubes, they were pretty easy to pull out and push in, So I figured, after jiggling these and getting some crackling noises out of it and everything, the tube pins needed to be tightened up. And with these particular type of sockets, you can't get to the thing, you can't get to it from the underside. You have to go in through the top. And these little, I don't know if you can, if I can hold still long enough and zoom in. Let me get this thing down there so we can keep light on it. If you can see these wings here, these wings, if you take one of these, and you can get them at Walmart with all different kinds of pointy tips on them, straight, bent, 90, 100, 105, whatever. If you go in there and you stay in that groove all the way down till you hit that metal sleeve, and then give it a little pry to the middle, you can bend these socket thingies tighter. Let's put it that way. You can probably get them to the point where they probably close up on you. But that's what I'm doing now, because some of these aren't gripping very good, and I'm still getting a little crackly noise out of it. Let's zoom out. Okay. So that's what I'm doing with this now. I'm going through and hitting these things again and getting them sucked up. I noticed in here when I jiggle some of the wires around, and stand that up there, like here, this terminal strip that I put in there for the E-caps, if I jiggle that thing like that, I get crackling out of it. Jiggle a little bit over here, I get crackling out of it. Jiggle over here, I get crackling out of it. I've gone through and I've checked all the resistance values again, and they are tight. They're within 15% tolerance. So I'm going to go through and do that and see what I can find. Anybody got any ideas? I'd appreciate you putting it in the comments of what your experiences are, or what you've heard others say, or whatever, or point me in the direction of a forum that has some. I haven't gone through and checked in the forum on this thing, because usually when I do a search on a forum site, I get everything everything except what I'm really looking for. I mean, I don't know how to. I still haven't. I don't use it enough to get familiar with it so that I can, beyond one word searches. If I need to go with like tube voltage, well, I don't know if I have to concatenate tube with voltage, or tube voltage, or tube space voltage, or I don't know. But I never seem to get what I'm looking for. So I just peruse the stuff and to see if there's anybody currently with stuff that has an issue with it that are similar in nature to what I am experiencing. So I'm going to tighten up some of this stuff in here and get it reflow some solder and see what I'm doing, because shouldn't be a problem with this switch. And I've already checked the wiring with what I have here, and it's all copacetic. It checks out. So thanks for letting me bend your ear for 30 minutes or so. It's getting 7:45. It's dark outside now, so the skeeters are trying to carry me out of here, so we're gonna leave it for till tomorrow. I haven't been doing too much in the way of doing anything on this particular radio and cabinet, because we've had a rain off and on for a few days, and humidity levels are to a point to where the cabinet is going to have to take a back seat right now for at least until we get the water out of the air. And I can start spraying it and finishing it. I just coated a coat of stain on it after the sanding that you've seen in the previous video section. One other thing that I wanted to say was I got a second bulb in there. I forget who it was that put me on to an idea about a second bulb. They pointed me to a radio unit that had two of these installed, and it was similar in nature, although not quite the same application. So what I managed to whip up was let's see if I can find you over here. And $14.90 bulbs, 3.2 volt at I'm not really sure. I think it's about 1.15 amps or something like that. It's really close. It's really close to half the value of the original 47 bulb that was in there. What I did was I modified the wiring so that it is series string, goes back down and ties to the other end of the power switch. This end ties to the neutral end of the other thing. So on the you got Rectifax, the Z5 tube, the rectifier. So instead of the one lamp between heater 2 and heater 3, in other words, heater 3 is the tap. I go between heater 2 and heater 3, but through 2 lamps instead of the one. And after she comes up, she's good and bright, and I get lighting on both ends of the dial. So hip hip hooray for whoever put me onto that. I appreciate that. And I guess that's all. So we'll see you in the next video, hopefully. So one last thing, and I swear this will be it. My brother came by yesterday and picked up his truck. He was on his bicycle. I said, "What the hell are you doing here?" He said, "I decided to get it. I felt so good." He says, and you know me, he says, "I hate sitting around," because he goes to the gym three times a week. He works out there for a couple hours, and then he rides his bike home. Well, it's been a little warm lately, so he'd been driving the truck up until the time he had to go in for that cath lab test, and it kind of screwed him up a little bit there. So he took off for a week, and then he showed up here yesterday. The truck was still sitting where you saw it in the previous video, and he says, I says, "You want me to take your truck home?" And he says, "No, I'm gonna put the bike on the bike rack on the back of the truck, and I'm gonna drive the truck home." I said, "Oh, okay." Well, he did it without a problem. So I'm back to my daily routine. So thank you everybody for hanging in there and listening to my crap, and we'll see you on the next video. So everybody, enjoy your weekend. See you later.